Well, I studied it. I studied it since I was about 7, and like a lot of other kids probably, I did backyard wrestling with my friends, but unlike most, I recorded a lot of it. And actually there's a lot of stuff I did that I really wish I'd recorded. Like there was this one that got really out of hand, this one match that got way out of hand, and we were kind of like power slamming each other on concrete, and we got all cut and stuff. And I did try to record it. I put the camera back in my house because it was at the time when it had to be connected to a VCR, and we wrestled in a field down the road, and so it only just caught us. You could, if you sped up the footage, you could see us like ants in the background, very, very small. You couldn't actually see what was happening, but that was us being power slammed on concrete and jumping off of tennis courts and things like that. So I recorded a lot of it, and I actually probably went further than a lot of people too, because I did things like jumping off a house, which is more although I did know my limits. Actually, I knew my limits, even though I did do things like that. But that stuff like that is probably more insane, considering that my audience until I was about 16 was a row of cuddly toys, because I had loads of cuddly toys. And at school I spend all my time planning our backyard wrestling federation, and I did that more than studying at school, just because I always planned for a career in wrestling. As soon as I was of working age, really, I advertised in a wrestling magazine that I'd like a trainer. Before I was working age, I actually, tried to get into a few wrestling schools, but because of my age, they wouldn't let me. But when I was of working age, I advertised for a wrestling trainer it was in Power Slam actually, Power Slam magazine, and it led to loads of prank calls from people, normally at 4 AM or something like that. They were pretending to be wrestlers. And one day I got one supposedly from Jake the Snake Roberts, and I slammed the phone down. But he kept calling, and after a little persistence on his part, I realised it was him.
Hello, my name's Edward Harris. We'd like to know if there's a lesson tomorrow, which is the 2nd of November. Thank you. I tried to do it really English.
What happened? Is he going to phone you, or are you going to phone back, or
What?
about this other place?
What, Jake Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what you'll have to do, catch a coach or a train, and hopefully it's near the train station or the coach station. You can ask that the next time, can't you?
And that led to me having a second home on the coach, because I'd go down to London to his wrestling school every week on the coach for 3 years. It was a 5-hour coach trip there. It was a 3-hour intense session, and then it was a 5-hour coach trip back at first, but then that changed as I got more and more involved with it. I would stay over the night. I'd stay with him overnight, and he'd give me psychology lessons, which were actually of more interest to me than the physical stuff, and that's the most important side of it as well. So I'd have psychology lessons, go back the next day on a coach after another 3-hour physical training session, and then eventually I'd be having matches every night as well. Well, my move into the professional ring took me to America to live with him, and I wrestled in America. Most notably, it was Daytona Beach was my favourite place, and I had a great time on Daytona Beach as well, and I had a great time drinking their Mountain Dew drink, which they don't have in the UK at the moment. Actually, they do, but they just got it over here, but it's nowhere near as good. It was kind of, while my wrestling career was going on, in parallel to that I was documenting my wrestling career, and then in parallel to that I was also doing these other stunts and street incidents and things like that for the camera at the same time. I now have a library of about 400 hours of stuff. That's what I use for my web show. It's called Laugh or Cry TV, and it's every Thursday at laughorecrytv.com. The show is the world's first ever public document of someone's full journey through show business, which includes wrestling. And I get all my honest thoughts on everything that happens, and I get all my family's reactions to them as well. And it's been featured twice in your magazine as well. think show 32 is one of my favourites. You have to watch the whole lot to get the joke at the end. But also 63 is probably one of my favourite things I've ever done, because it shows my full development from the backyard to the ring in one video. And it's something that I can make because I saved all of my footage meticulously and taught myself how to edit. Yes, Fighting Spirit magazine. They did say they were jealous of my collection. They sent me an email as well, yeah, saying, "Oh, I'm jealous," and one saying, "I do love these photos." And also Finn Martin from Power Slam, he emailed me and said, "That's some collection, I have to say," which was really cool because I love Power Slam. I read about one back issue a day, and I actually ordered a back issue, and Finn Martin wrote me a handwritten note about the back issue, which I treasure like a psychopath. Well, I started collecting that, it started when I started liking wrestling, so I suppose it started when I was about 7, but there was one day that I announced, just got in my head that I was going to cover my entire room so you couldn't see the walls or the ceiling, and not just with posters, but with like every type of merchandise going. And I think people at the time probably thought I was just saying it, but I am quite fanatical, and when I get it in my head I tend to follow it through. So it is now the case that the entire room is covered, and it's not untidy either. It's just that there is a lot in it, but everything has its own place. And when I was building it up, it got to a point where I had most of the UK merchandise, so every Christmas my entire Christmas list was things ordered in from America in a big box. The postage and packing probably cost more than what was in it. I'd say my favourite part of it is my action figure collection. There's over 1,000 of them. Quite rare item. As far as like individual items go, there's a picture of me with Yokozuna. He died hours later. It was after a show, after his last show, which was also in my hometown as well, actually. He teamed up with Greg Valentine, so he's in the picture along with Adam Moffat, my friend. And it was probably the last photo ever taken of Yokozuna, so that's a good part of it. And I've also got about 3,000 VHS tapes, which aren't pictured, they're not on display in the room, they're in cupboards. And that's because I taped every TV show, every wrestling TV show that was on TV. And I'd say, practically speaking, they're actually what I get the most use out of, in addition to the action figures, which I still play with. Yes, I actually went to that venue about 7 years later just for like a wrestling meeting, because there was a show going on there. That venue was in my hometown, and that meeting took place actually just shortly before I went to America. The only real piece of merchandise that I've sold was a deluxe replica world title belt. I had to sell it because I was doing this thing where I was needing some discs and equipment to make my Laugh or Cry TV show, so I needed to raise money, so I sold the belt, and I thought it's okay because one day I might win it back. I will perhaps win it back one day anyway, Tina. Look, can I ask you something? Do you think that that's okay condition? Look, it's a bit all... Do you think that's okay? Look at it. Look. It's really good. No, what about that? It's all come apart. No, fuck it. Everyone else sells crap. I will perhaps win it back one day, Tina. Yes. To the people who say they're jealous, they wouldn't be jealous if they had to dust my room. Okay, first of all, that noise you're hearing is the unprofessional noise of the toilet flushing, because Tina just flushed even though we're shooting right now. Okay? And we're actually shooting to quite a big audience, aren't we, Tina? Because of all the media appearances. Okay, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. First of all, if you're a male watching this, which you probably are, because of my mature sense of humour, be aware, okay? If your girlfriends walk in, Tina just farted, got my top off, don't want to cause any marital problems, jealousy from them. Okay? But as ridiculous as that statement is, at one time, maybe not so ridiculous. I'm talking about when I was in shape, okay, before I started having KFC twice a day, no exaggeration, okay? Wrestling, okay, I was wrestling, and I did an interview with the Bazaar website, okay, been in the magazines twice. Edward, can we get more of you? No, you've had enough, please. Alright, I'm a nice man, okay? Yeah? They said to me that they were going to just embed one of my videos on their website, and I was happy with that. I said, oh, here's some pictures and here's the interview if you want to do like a full page out of it. They said, no, that wasn't the plan. We're not going to be doing that. Okay? Common sense has got to them overnight. It's now a full page spread. Okay, Tina?
Really?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Just check it out.
Yeah. So...
Okay. Look, can you see the screen there? Yeah, check it out, man.
Well,
Fucking shit, yeah.
I'll come closer.
Bizarre. See it? Whole page spread of me there. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well done.
LaughOrCryTV.com, does it? Yes, it does. Correct.
Go up then.
Look, they put his. He also appears to be gradually turning into Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, which is either a compliment at being a consummate heel, a career heel, or it's saying, he looks dead. Okay? Look. Ed Surname's incredible wrestling journey. Laugh or Cry TV's twisted, stunt-mad host has gone from a teen backyard wrestler to pro wrestler in the States. Exaggeration. As trained by Jake the Snake Roberts. Video of his pile-driving rise. Ed Surname of Laugh or Cry TV fame, strong word, a Bazaar reader, who was previously featured in the mag, began studying wrestling when he was 7. Shit, yeah, I did. He created his own backyard wrestling federation while barely out of nipper shorts. I spent... What the hell's that?
Like diapers, isn't it?
Yeah, diapers.
You sure?
I spent all my time planning this rather than studying at school, yes. Jetted to the States to live and train with WWE legend Jake the Snake Roberts. In brackets, he phoned me a few times but I didn't believe it was him, and has now drop-kicked his way into the world of professional wrestling. He also appears to be gradually turning into Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig.
Why?
That's a good compliment. I don't know, just what I do and that.
Yeah.
This video edited by himself, documents his rise. Pretty incredible footage that perhaps shouldn't really be tried at home, unless you're a trained mentalist like Ed. Yeah, I'm really happy with what they choose. Really happy with what they choose. I'm really happy with the pictures they choose. I love Bazaar. Yeah, come in here then. Look, did an interview for the Bazaar website there. There. It's an interview with the Bazaar website. It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
They put up some of my interview with the Bazaar website, Dad.
That's good. That's an incredible wrestling
Well,
journey.
it's the...
Who's put this together?
The Bazaar website, Bazaar magazine.
That's
So.
good.
Alright.
Still no bottle of rum.
Into Mr. Perfect.
Still no rum?
Nope.
Have you
What'd you say?
Still no rum.
have you contacted
Yeah.
them about it?
Yeah. But I had to contact them. They put up Laugh and Cry TV, so I had to contact them and tell them it's no good for a search engine. So it's always something, isn't it?